Good morning from a Walmart parking lot, sleeping in my car. I wanted to do a short little video about car camping. I have been wanting to get a van for several years now, and it's something that I wanted to get into because of my lifestyle. It would fit perfectly. I travel across the country, going to jobs or to hikes, and I camp along the way. I usually never get a hotel because I just not gonna spend the money for that. And especially since after, like, through hiking the Appalachian Trail, it doesn't make sense for me to pay for camping. Obviously, if there's amenities, I understand, but I feel like I don't need a hookup for electricity. I mean, I don't need running water. It just doesn't make sense to have to pay $20 for somewhere to park. I use freecampsites.net to find free campsites, and it's usually on public lands, either national forest or BLM lands. Occasionally it's small city parks, and then last resort is a Walmart. I've only stayed at a Walmart. This is probably my third time total. Like I said, it's the last resort if I can't find anything else. Since I'm used to tent camping, I would like to put up a tent, but I have found lately that when I get to places, it just makes me feel safer, honestly, to just stay in my car. A lot of times I arrive at night, and being night blind, it's a bit disorienting, and obviously I have a headlamp and stuff, but I just don't always feel comfortable to set up in the dark. And sometimes it's really cold, and sometimes I have to get going really early. I've car camped before going to jobs where I'm having to get up at 3 in the morning, so that would take more time to have to take down a tent, so I will just sleep in my car. I have a very small car. This is a 1998 Toyota Corolla that I've had since I was 16. The only car I've ever had, I've had for 15 years, and I have about almost 250,000 miles on it, bought used. And I slept in this car many a times, and it's always very uncomfortable. I sleep in the driver's seat, and sorry, my alarm went off. I sleep in the driver's seat. I usually try to push my chair back as far as it goes, but it doesn't go all the way down. And then I usually just put my legs kind of over here onto the passenger side, and I just don't sleep very well. I'm pretty tall. I'm almost 6 foot tall, so being in such a small car, it's very limiting. I can't sleep in the back seat. It's very, I don't have many choices when I sleep in the car. So I decided that, I was getting ready to get this van, and I just couldn't make the decision. It was going to take about half of my savings, and I just wasn't willing to spend that much money on it when I could use that money for something else. Plus having to pay for more car insurance, and then for gas. I'm just so used to not having to spend much on gas because this little car does really well, that having to spend that much more on gas would have been hard for me. So I was like, well, what can I do to make this work? And so I basically decided to take my seats out. So I took out the passenger seat, the whole seat, and then I took out the back of the part of my back seat, passenger seat side, so I could lay down. My dad just put this little sheet of wood to lay on, and then I put cushions on top of that, and voila. Very basic. I then just put, I don't know if you can see that, just put a thing of tarp over it so the cushions would stay clean. And when I lie down, my feet end up a little bit in the trunk, and my head is right here by the glove box. So it works. Just a side note, I just wanted to say this, my ceiling fabric has been coming off for years now. I've had friends ride in here and say, did you get in a knife fight? Because it was just like shredded. And so it looked bad, and I'm not going to put money into this car. It is so old, like I don't want to have to replace that. So I just got a piece of fabric and just pinned it on top, and I think it looks better than it did. And then I put up some LED lights around. So I wasn't able to use it here because I didn't want to draw attention to myself in the parking lot. But if I was camping somewhere in the forest, like that would have been nice to turn on. But going back to my little layout here, whew, yeah, so last night was the first night I tried this out, and I could not go to sleep. I took some video last night. I can't sleep. I don't know what time it is. It's maybe 10:30. Car camping diaries. It's my Camperolla. Sleeping in the Walmart parking lot. And just couldn't go to sleep, couldn't get comfortable, and my back is killing me this morning. So I think I'm going to try to blow up my Thermarest air mattress that I use for hiking trips, backpacking trips, and just lay that underneath my sleeping bag and see if that helps at all. So that was one of my things, is I'm just really exposed, and so getting a van, I just wanted to be more undercover, I guess. I wanted to be able to kind of park anywhere and nobody know that I was in there. And I just can't do that in this car because I can't cover all my windows up. I could. I think it would be more noticeable. And I brought some black sheets, so I'm going to try to see how to do that with the windows. But that's the thing, it's being in a Walmart parking lot, people driving by, people walking by, I mean, they could see me in here. So I just slept with this blanket over my head, and, you know, nobody bothered me. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of show an alternative to the van life. I'm just a big proponent of making it work. I don't have a lot of money. I don't work full time. I don't have a career. I work seasonally from time to time, and that's what I've chosen. so I can live this life of being able to travel and do hikes and go on adventures. And so I don't have a lot of money to work with, and sometimes you just got to make it work. So I just wanted to kind of share, like I said, an alternative to van life. You don't have to have a new Sprinter van. You don't have to have even a truck. You can make it work. Obviously, you know, I'm not going to be living in this for months at a time. That would be really difficult, I think. But for the week or two that I'm going to be on this trip, this will work. And I basically just don't want to have to spend money. So I'm not going to spend money on a motel. I'm not going to spend money eating out. Like I have a cooler. I bring all my stuff with me. You can make it work with what you have. And yeah, so I'll give you a little tour, I guess. So my sleeping bag going into the trunk. I'm bringing, I have about 2 pairs of skis here, so they're kind of in my way. So I wasn't able to put my feet in the whole hole, so I've got my skis here. And the seat is still here. And then this is where it meets. So this is the cushion with the tarp on it. And my cooler and all my junk's in there. From all the traveling that I've done, I've just really kind of come to learn that it's ridiculous that there's not more places that you can just park. I mean, I understand that there's going to be people that abuse it and leave trash and, you know, overstay and just kind of cause a scene. But I think the majority of people are going to be respectful, and I'm going to leave a place and you'll never know I was there. So I just wish there were more options. And honestly, I've been thinking about churches lately. All these churches' parking lots would be perfect for me to just park in their parking lot. And I'm sure if I asked, they might say yes. It's just, how do you ask at like 7 at night or later when you're trying to find a place? So, like I said, I use freecampsites.net, and that's really just a user kind of set platform where other people doing what I do find places, and then they mark that spot on that website for other people, and then people can say that they've been there and what they have there and blah blah blah. And so I mean, on that, it has some Walmarts, it has some casinos that you can park at, it has some like rest stops, it has different places that you can stop at on there. And it doesn't have everything. Sometimes you just kind of got to find places by yourself, I guess, and then you can put it on that website. It's a good resource. So I actually called 2 other Walmarts yesterday, and because that's important too, I think. You want to be respectful, and you want to make sure you're abiding by whatever they have. And so some places don't allow overnight parking, and 2 that I went to yesterday, well, one that I saw a sign that said no overnight parking, and I tried to call them beforehand, but they didn't answer. And then the next one I called, and I asked, and they said no. And then this was the 3rd one I called, which was like an hour away, and they said yes. So I was like, thank goodness. So yeah, that's car camping. So later. Well, it's night 2 in my car. I am not at Walmart tonight. I found a park that allows camping. I am the only one here. And I like it because I could put my LED lights on, so it really brightens up everything. I could read if I wanted to. I also have my headlamp, but it gives it a nice little atmosphere. I just remembered I did blow up my Thermarest air mattress, and so I've got that on top of the little cushions, and I can already tell that it feels better. Hoping tonight will be better. I'll be able to sleep better. Plus the fact that I don't have to worry about people moving around, you know, outside and making a lot of noise. So should be a good night, and that's about it.